Am I the asshole for calling off my wedding because my fiance wants to invite guys she had a gangbang with?
Seriously gonna do this.
Me and my fiance were planning our wedding, and she had her invite list. I saw nothing wrong with it at first. Then, her friend's boyfriend told me something about it. Her friend's BF told me something about it. That 5 of the guys were from her college, and they had group sex a few times. It's the fact that she wanted to invite all of them. They aren't even friends anymore since she hadn't even fucking mentioned them. 2 of them just happen to be sons of an old family friend.
And what do you want from me?
I want you to let me know what you think about this.
My wife told me she never wants to have sex again, but wants to be married as best friends. We have been married for 13 years, 2 children, still young and in school. Our sex life has been almost non-existent the past 2 years, but now it seems it's completely dead. She told me she will never want sex again and just wants to stay married as best friends. I don't want to date at my age again. Plus, I love my wife more than anything, except my kids. I want to be with her, completely broken and shell-shocked, and I don't know what's going on. Ask her why. She says she has no desire to me. She has no desire for me. Dude, this is fucking heartbreaking. No, I'm saying that.
Oh, okay.
I'm saying
that
that.
was the comment.
No.
What's up, everybody?
Welcome back to another episode of the Coffee Breakup.
Starring Christian Vieira.
And Marvin Schultz.
Yes, I like your suit. They're good. A little throwback over here.
Start reading.
Yeah. I got something that I'm going to read to you, and you're going to let me know your thoughts.
Sure.
Because you're getting married this year, so there's going to be maybe something that you can add to this and chime in. So, right?
Let's do it.
All right. Am I the asshole for calling off my wedding because my fiance wants to invite guys she had a gangbang with?
Seriously gonna do this, dude.
Huh?
There you go.
Yeah, okay. So, you saw this?
No.
No, okay. Just the title. Me and my fiance were planning our wedding, and she had her invite list. I saw nothing wrong with it at first. Then, her friend's boyfriend told me something about it. Her friend's BF told me something about it. That 5 of the guys were from her college, and they had group sex a few times. He told me that if it was me, that he'd want to know. I guess a friend of him. So I never knew this about my fiance, and honestly, while I don't really like it, the act itself isn't the issue. But inviting all of them to our wedding, yeah, that's an issue. I told my fiance this, and we got into a fight. Eventually, we both agreed to call things off, and I'm reconsidering things. Let me be crystal clear about something. It's not that she had a gangbang that's the issue. I'll say it again for those who are slow. It's not that she had a gangbang that's the issue. It's the fact that she wanted to invite all of them. They aren't even friends anymore since she hadn't even fucking mentioned them. 2 of them just happen to be sons of an old family friend. That's the story.
And what do you want from me?
I want you to let me know what you think about this. It's kind of silly, but this I guess presumably is real. So what do you think? What are your thoughts? And you're getting married this year too, so.
Dude, if I...
Is he the asshole for calling things off?
He called it off.
They both decided, hey, it would be best to maybe just reconsider things.
I mean, I don't know where to start, dude, because I don't know if I'd want to be with someone who had a gangbang. And people change.
Sure.
Presumably.
Okay.
But it's like the fact that they were invited after you had a gangbang with them.
Yeah.
That seems like a problem.
Well, he's saying it's not a problem, but the fact that
to me that would be
to you that would be
like, there's so many problems.
Yeah.
So is he the asshole for calling it off? I mean, it's I don't know how to answer this.
Yeah.
So
So where's the line? Former ex able to be invited to a wedding? Back in the day, somebody you had a fling with, could be a family friend, could be, who knows?
I don't know, man. That's weird. I see things a little bit. I don't know. I don't know if I would feel comfortable.
Being at a wedding, at your own wedding.
My own wedding, and then knowing that someone else who's there banged my wife.
Is it? It's just because it's one guy, or could it be multiple, or just the act in general?
I wouldn't want anyone who's banged my wife
To be at your
to
own
be
wedding.
at my own wedding that I'm marrying said wife.
Yes, fair enough.
That would be my answer.
That's the line.
You don't agree?
I do agree, 100%. Of course, you know me.
Yeah,
I just
you're.
you know me. But the fact that you're having a big wedding, beautiful, it's gonna be very nice. So I wanted to kind of get your input.
I need to ask. No.
You're gonna go.
I need to take a look at this.
Yeah, let me take a look at the list and assess.
No, but I would feel very uncomfortable. I don't think that one. I mean, I know my fiance. I'm pretty sure this has not been in her history. I know girls that may have done this, or girls that you would assume like this girl has had a gangbang.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even be interested in getting near someone like that.
Yeah.
I find that to be very disgusting and very repulsive. I'm sure there's many people who have had that. Hey, that's your past. You chose to do it. Some people accept it. Some people don't. I'm not one. I wouldn't be okay with that. Bro, I wouldn't even be okay with that having happened. I wouldn't be with someone who's had that. Because it's just the thought and the idea of you did this.
But what if they say, "Hey, this was a long time ago. Like it was just for fun. I was drunk. Back in the day,
You're
I was 18 years
disgusting.
old."
No. No. I mean, not for me.
Not for you. Not your cup of tea.
You would be okay
No,
with that?
I wouldn't.
But it's the past.
Wouldn't.
It doesn't have anything to do with you.
It's disturbing.
You wouldn't accept it either.
I wouldn't.
That's weird. Yeah, no, I wouldn't feel comfortable. I feel like that's really strange.
So this would be not the asshole. The guy is like
I think they're doing each other a favor.
by calling that. Maybe she could marry one of the guys that she had at a gang.
Maybe she could marry all of them for the be a gangbang.
Someone goes, she couldn't have invited only 3 of the 5. They would have felt left out. That's crazy that this may actually, happen to people, Maybe, who knows, this could be fake. Somebody, sometimes people write stupid shit. But arguably, this is true. And maybe even on a smaller scale, quote unquote, this happens to maybe some people invited a former ex or somebody they had a fling with, or not even an official, that's kind of crazy too.
Do you think that any ex should be invited to a wedding?
No.
What if it was like a family friend for years that you knew, and like they tried dating and then they're like gross, but they've always been around the family?
That's probably more common than people may think.
Do you think that that's more normal?
I think so, because sometimes people will be like, "Oh yeah, we dated when we were younger, like in high school."
I think about it like, oh,
an innocent-
like we were both single. We, good looking. I'm good looking. We were both attracted to each other, and we tried, but it wasn't.
Nothing.
Didn't make sense. We didn't like it.
I think that's more common than probably.
That's
like,
okay.
It's not okay. I think it's more common, but to me, it still wouldn't be okay. Like no exes, no flings, no people you've had any type of romantic.
That's weird, dude.
Yeah,
and then you get introduced to them, and then you're shaking their hand. It's like, I banged your girl. I banged your wife.
But have you ever seen those videos where even like the groomsmen and whatnot, and then they have like a speech and be like, "Oh, I met him. I met my now husband because of I dated his best friend's ex or his best friend or something."
The
like
best
that.
man.
The
or
best
whatever.
man. Yeah,
Or there's like a speech. I think of the best man. It's like, oh yeah, we were actually dating.
we were
when we met.
dating, and then that's normal somehow. Like that's crazy to me.
But then, okay, but you
Let's see
also
if I
don't
find
know
the
where you're
video.
going to meet someone. Maybe you are dating someone, and by way of that person, you meet someone else that makes more sense, just so happens to be the friend. Scummy situation,
Yeah.
but why would you let that stop you from finding the one you love?
Sure, but then arguably don't have that person be at the wedding.
But if it's the best man
It shouldn't
or
be.
like someone close, that's a weird conversation, dude.
Yeah.
And like, oh yeah, I banged your girl once upon a time.
Yeah.
I mean, I doubt he's saying that, but
But arguably
It
that's what
happened.
happened. So
and you're gonna marry her,
and then
knowing your boy knows.
yeah, and then like he's gonna be around too. Like, as you get older, whatever, you go on vacations, you go on trips, you're always gonna know like, yo, they had a thing for each other back in the day. There was attraction. They obviously banged. They obviously hooked up. Like, no man.
So you don't think there's any? What if it was like early high school, freshman year? Nothing happened. Nothing physical happened. Maybe they just kissed. You think maybe there's a line there?
At the like having them at the wedding, or what's it?
Yeah, like let's say like, oh, we're in high school and we dated for like a month. We just holding hands and kiss on the lips.
I mean, dude, in high school these days, even back in the days when we were in high school, people would fuck.
No, this is
The scenario. Probably still feel kind of iffy about it.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, because in high school, you're 16, like freshman year, you're 15, 16 years old.
You're 30 what, too?
Yeah.
Does it matter? Think about it. Seriously, do you think that matters?
That they were dating in high school?
Yeah.
For like a minute?
And yeah, nothing happened. Legitimately.
I think so. I think it still matters, kind of. Like,
You still think it matters?
Like, out of, like, why is that necessary?
I don't know. It's my cousin's best friend, and I don't know.
They'll
He's always
survive
been
without
around.
being at the wedding, dude.
Okay. You think that your opinion is normal, or do you just think that because you are who you are, it's a little bit more?
Fair question. Fair question. I think there's a lot of guys who probably will maybe not think the same way, who probably be okay with their partner, with having someone like that at the wedding. But I think there's a fair share of people that agree with me. If I'm trying to be objective, obviously it's hard to get out of your own, shell sometimes like that. But I think so. You don't mind? You would be like, oh, whatever. It's been 15 years, and they didn't have, they didn't have sex, but it was like an innocent thing. It's one thing if you tell me, oh, we were like in kindergarten, like, you met Christina, in kindergarten or something like that. You tell me, oh, you had met Christina in kindergarten and we liked each other, and then later on, I don't know, somebody else that dates them. You guys, you were in kindergarten, dude. Come on. But freshman year in high school is a little bit different.
Really?
I think so, dude.
30 though. Imagine someone's getting married in 35. They're 40 years old, marrying another 30.
So that would have been different if they would have gotten married at 22.
I mean, I feel like
Same
22. It's less time. It's a fresher act rather than another 20, 30 years.
Right, but so then if you have something with someone that I dated when I'm 22, and then like I wait 15 years, it'll be okay because time has passed. What is the comparison? The time or the fact how old you were?
Or did something happen?
Nothing happened. Like, nothing happened.
Then
Arguably, it's less likely that nothing happened when you're 22 than versus
true.
50. But I think.
Well, no. So I think the time in between is the problem.
The gap.
Yeah, because right now we're 30. If we talk about high school, I mean, enough time has passed. But like, if another 10 years, like people who are in their 30-something, 40s, and they want to get married, are they gonna trip out over something that happened maybe in high school? You think? It's like so long. But a 20-year-old from high school, I mean, yeah, it was less than 10 years. Like, I knew this guy. The guy's my, but if it's like 20, 30 years, I don't think it would matter.
I just don't think that you.
So it depends on when the gangbang happened.
Yes. And this was college, so they were like 18, 19 years old. So let's say they got married in their late 20s, 10 years. It's not that long. It's long, but it's not that long.
I mean, there's someone out there for everybody.
There's someone out for everybody. But clearly, then they're not for each other.
But I don't know.
Obviously created.
I mean, but he's okay. So he is okay with the gangbang.
Okay,
he just doesn't want them at the wedding.
Yes.
Well, yeah, no, I then don't think that they need to be invited to the wedding. I mean, can't she just not invite them?
Yeah. Even if they're
Not
family
invite
friend.
them.
Yeah, not invite them. Because most people don't understand, like, hey, listen, we had this thing in college. I'm getting married. I'm not gonna. I don't think people would have hard feelings for not getting invited because if they gangbang the
This is a game, but even if it was one bang, I wouldn't even want No, you're not allowed to go to the wedding.
Don't.
No, not the asshole.
Not yet. So, are you gonna go through the wedding list?
Yes.
Yeah.
Just to make sure.
To make sure there was no
We'll double
gangbangs
check.
no gangbangs involved.
I better a highlighter be like, who's this
Who's
person?
Quick Google search.
I mean, there's a good chance that it's just a family member, which that would be extra weird if that was the case.
It could be both.
She has a massive family, so I'm gonna be on the list for a while. But no, yeah,
Okay.
I probably will double check just to make sure.
Make sure
Weird.
everything is in order. All right. Well, I mean, I'm curious to hear what the comments are gonna say about this.
I'm actually curious as to, did you ever, if you got married, did you invite an ex or someone you may have had a thing with?
Point.
And most importantly, did your significant other, the person you married, did they know? What was that like?
Yes. Let us know. I'm curious.
Before we wrap up, I did want to go over another one that I just saw.
Okay.
We have some time?
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay. My wife told me she never wants to have sex again, but wants to be married as best friends. We have been married for 13 years, 2 children, still young and in school. Our sex life has been almost non-existent the past 2 years, but now it seems it's completely dead. She told me she will never want sex again and just wants to stay married as best friends. If I get divorced, I'm alone and I don't get to see my kids every day. If I stay, I don't have a partner that wants me. If she agrees to let me find sex somewhere else, I have to start dating, and that's terrifying. I'm 45 years old. I don't want to date again. If I get divorced, same thing. I don't want to date at my age again. Plus, I love my wife more than anything, except my kids. I want to be with her. I'm completely broken and shell-shocked, and I don't know what's going on. Some people say you could benefit from couples therapy. Someone says she refuses to do couples therapy. Someone else, ask her why. She says she has no desire to me. She has no desire for me. Sounds like a deal breaker, and it's incredibly crushing. The only thing I love more than my wife are my 2 girls. If I had to be forced to only see them every other weekend or half the week, I would die.
Wow.
Does she have no desire for you in particular, or is her sex drive gone? I don't know. I honestly don't know.
That's a good one.
Dude, this is fucking heartbreaking.
Is that
That's no,
that a
I'm
comment?
saying that.
Oh, okay.
I'm saying
that was
that.
the comment.
No. Just imagine married for 13 years.
Yeah.
She has no desire for you.
But there has to be a reason. You don't just wake up and say, I'm not attracted. I'm not like into having sex anymore. So the real question is it something that I am doing or that I'm not doing? Maybe I'm not providing the environment for you to want to have sex with me, right? So there's obviously a lot of different avenues you could pursue, but it's not normal for some. She's 41. Dude, it's not like she's fucking 70. It's not really normal for her to not. I would say maybe go to a doctor, make sure that there's everything in order in terms of your hormones. Because is it something that your body's going through, or what's happening here?
Did you ask the why? She has no desire for me anymore. But why? Hormonal changes, uneven domestic chores, not feeling sexy, selfish lover, etc. Hormonal changes could be possible, but she doesn't seem to want to talk to a doctor about it. We both work full-time and split chores and childcare evenly. She has gained weight, and I know she's unhappy about it. Doesn't bother me. I think she looks sexy always. I always go out of my way to make her orgasm before I get mine, or even if I get mine, I want her to enjoy herself.
Mm-hmm. Sounds good on paper.
Sounds good on paper.
Yeah.
That was his response.
Something's not adding up because a woman, if you're good to her, if you provide a good environment, a good life, you're splitting chores, you're both working, you're both having children, you're still relatively young. A woman, especially if she loves you, wouldn't just say, I don't want to have sex ever again with you.
We've had many discussions about lack of sex. The most recent one was when she told me the best friend thing. Like I said, we should just be married as best friends. I don't want to stay in this situation, but the fact is that I still love her and I love my kids and I don't want to lose them and only see them when a court says I'm allowed to. Only seeing my kids 50% of the time would wreck me.
I think he needs to ask if there may be somebody else. I know it's not something that people want to talk about, but that may be a possibility. Because she doesn't want to have sex, period, or is it just not with me?
Brought up marriage counseling. She never wants to do it. something's going on.
Something's going on, dude. Because a woman who loves you will want to make it work, and if that requires talking to somebody, most women will be open to talking to anybody to get help.
Women love talking.
Yes, and then
But
especially
wouldn't you want to talk? She doesn't want to talk to you. She doesn't want to fix it.
she doesn't want to fix it. So then it's like, okay, if you don't want to fix it, this relationship is not going to work. It takes two people to make something work, to make a marriage work. So it seems like he's more willing to make this work than she is. So but he's just standing there like, oh, I don't want to lose her. I don't want to date again. I don't want to lose my kids. But like, if you don't make a choice, you lose everything. So you're better off saying, you know what, I'm gonna leave and move on. And
You can't though. But what do you tell someone who doesn't want to leave? He doesn't. He loves her, right? He loves her. He wants to stay. He wants to be with her.
so if he
Wants to stay with his kids.
So if he wants to be with her and she doesn't want to fix it, he's gonna have to accept that this is gonna be your life. This is gonna be your norm. We're gonna be married as best friends and not have sex. And if he has urges, he's gonna have to get himself off, or he's gonna have to look for somebody else out there to satisfy his sexual
He
needs.
says he's terrified. I think what he needs is time and a little push.
He needs a push. He needs clarity. He needs
Because there's gonna come a moment. And there's a level of hope that says, well, I don't want to date anyone else, but you're gonna reach a point that you're gonna have to if you have certain desires.
if you have
that
certain
you want.
needs,
And
yes.
you want a partner that's actually going to be an actual partner.
Right.
You gotta date. I don't know, and I also feel like in order to get shit done, you gotta go out and do it.
Yeah.
That's what I've learned. Like, you can't really expect things to fall on your lap. So it's like, if you want to be happy and you're not, if you feel like, oh yeah, my wife would be happy. I mean, granted, we talk about this all the time, that like there's a lot of people out there. You don't find one doesn't work out. It's not like it's the end of the world.
Yeah.
Sure, there'll be somebody else. I mean, there's so many people. You're just looking within your direct circle. You're very limited as to your options because that's all you have around you. So yeah, it could be difficult, but you gotta broaden the horizon and see what else is out there. And it just sucks. And then how do you even have that conversation?
The
You know what I mean? Because then it's like, oh yeah, I'm still married, but we're not together. We're just friends. But legally, I decided to stay married just for my kids.
So that's what I'm saying. So if you're opting to just stay married as friends, it sounds like there's somebody else, or that you're just, sex is important. It's not the biggest important component of a happy marriage, but it's relatively important. So if you're removing that from your marriage completely, where else is she getting off? Or if she's not interested in that, like, you don't even
then why
talk to a
stay?
doctor or a therapist or anything like that. Why not even have that conversation? Because if you love your partner, you want to make things work. And if he tells you, hey, this is important, sex is important to me, let's at least talk to somebody. And you say, no, I don't want to, then you don't care what he wants. You don't care about him.
But what would be the point? Why would she?
She wants the companionship. She wants the house together. She wants to have someone there to raise the kids with, but she doesn't want to feel the need to have sex with him. That's what it sounds like, clearly. She only sees him as the father to her kids, someone that financially contributes, as a friend, as
someone she trusts, but
as a companion that she doesn't have sex with. And so they've been married for 13 years. So he has to say, and they're still relatively young. So it's like, if you don't want to leave, are you prepared to spend the next 30 years with her this way? If the answer is yes, then you know what to do. Do nothing. If the answer is no, which most likely you're not okay with spending the next 30 years like that, yet not even 3 years, then you need to do something. It's terrifying, but the alternative is for you to fucking stay stuck in this miserable life that you're not really enjoying. He says, yeah, I love my wife, but I have needs. Your needs are not going to just go away. So you got to do something. And it's terrifying to be with someone that is not willing to work with you on a problem. Effort. I don't understand that. Like, that is a huge kind of red flag. If you don't want to work on things, what are we doing here? If she tells me, like, if she's willing to make it work and say, you know what, let's maybe go to a doctor. Maybe there's certain hormone balances that are imbalances, or, okay, let's go talk to somebody. Maybe there's some other needs that I have, the wife. But she's not even willing to engage in any kind of talk. Then, it takes two to make things work. It doesn't sound like she's willing to, engage in him.
Someone had recommended to him to you can't go to counseling together, to just go by yourself. You know,
For her to go by
for
herself,
him to go by himself.
he needs to go by himself, and maybe he could bring it up like, hey, if you don't want to go together, are you willing to go alone? Talk to somebody and see maybe if they can discover what what's going on, because maybe she just doesn't want to talk to him about it. Maybe an independent person that she doesn't know that she can confide in might be able to kind of like discover what is going on, because there's a lot of questions that are unknown and we won't be able to understand without just by reading this. But it's not a normal thing, dude. I'm sorry.
So then, this was under a relationship advice thread. What advice would you give him in this situation?
What I would say is there's the big question is, how do you want your life to look like? Because you say you love your kids, but if you really love your kids, you want them to grow up around someone, that someone being you, that's happy, that loves his wife, that wants to build a life with, that they're proud of, that they want them to look at you and see that you're happy and see that you're hopeful and see that you're having a good life. Doesn't sound like he's having that, So he has to do what is also important to him. And if she's not willing to have sex and it's important to him, then he needs to step out of his own comfort zone and say, you know what? Either they can maybe talk about having an open relationship. It works for some people. But you need to do something, because right now he's paralyzed. He's like, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do that. So, but you can't stay standing, because if you're not willing to do anything and not willing to risk anything, then you're gonna lose everything. If you're just gonna fucking sit there and like, oh, let the fucking life pass you by, what's the point of living? What are you doing? Like, you're just kind of letting life go by you. You're paralyzed. You don't know what to do. You're scared to lose your kids. I get that, but if you're not willing to do anything, is it really worth it? Is it really worth having your kids and being proud of who you are if you can't even, be in a happy, healthy relationship with your wife? So, listen, it's not the end of the world to be a single father. He says, oh, like, I would lose my kids. No, it doesn't. No, you wouldn't. It sounds like you're a good dad. Sounds like you work. Da da da. Of course, does it suck to not see your kids every day? Of course, but people have done it before. People do it, and as they get older, they understand, and you explain things to them. But I would never be able to do that. I would never be able to be with somebody, and if they're unwilling or unable to work on certain things, and just be with them just to show face, or for like to play happy family when we're really not. I can't do that. So my advice to him, to circle back and to close off on that, is make a choice. I get it is scary, but dating at 45, dude. You know how many people are single at 45 and then still dating? Scary, yes, but not impossible. So whatever you decide to do, only he can decide. But there are worse things out there in life than being a single dad, starting over again at 45. People do it every day.
It's just terrible, because as good as that advice is, and kind of like the only option really we have in order to like kind of grab your balls and do something about it. He wants her.
He wants her. He loves her. He's like, oh, I love her.
So it's like, how do you find the drive or the motivation to go, and date again or find someone else when your heart is still in another place? There's a big healing factor that has to pass, that has to go through.
Yeah.
A lot of time.
Yeah. And it sounds like he doesn't even want to fuck anybody else. He just wants to fuck his wife.
He wants to bang his wife.
He wants to bang his wife that he loves.
It's crazy.
That's insane.
How people will like, have affairs and, stray from their relationship. This guy's like, I want to be with you. She's like, nah.
No. He's like, I want you to want me. Like, I want you. Like,
yeah.
That's it. That's all he wants.
I want to bang you. You're my wife.
You're my wife. Like, dude.
He's like, no.
And she's like, no.
Someone else.
Yeah. But he's like, no, I don't want to. And then he's like, oh, can I do something about it? What am I missing here? Nothing. I just don't want to. That's crazy. But again, it goes to show you he loves her. Sounds like unconditionally or really, really profoundly. But it takes two. You can't be the only one who's willing to put in the effort. Right now, it sounds like he's the only one willing to put in the effort. So I would love to kind of know exactly what's going on. She's obviously not attracted to him, but boy, you know, you got to take care of of yourself, you know. And so, if she doesn't really care what he wants, which obviously she doesn't, he's gonna have to put his own needs in front of hers.
So you had made a comment about he loves her unconditionally. So I don't know if you remember the bit that Chris Rock had about being loved unconditionally, women versus men. No. So I'm gonna play this and then we'll download it. Have editor do his work.
You gotta learn some lessons, some man lessons. Okay. I know it's hard being a woman, but there's a coldness that you have to accept when you're a man, especially a black man. It's like the world's cold as a mother. Okay. And you get older. One thing I learned: only women, children, and dogs are loved unconditionally. A man is only loved under the condition that he provides something. I've never heard a woman in my life say, you know, after he got laid off, we got so much closer. You ain't never heard that shit. No. I once heard my grandmother say, a broke man is like a broke hand. Can't do nothing with it. What kind of gangster shit is that?
What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, but I've seen that clip before. To big degree, it's kind of true, especially in this day and age where, you know, as a guy, listen, doesn't matter if you're sick, doesn't matter if you're sad, if you're this, you got to provide value to this world. Kind of fucked up.
Let me give you an example.
Sure.
I was talking to my fiance, right? And she was like, oh, what would you do? Like, I forgot how we got into it, but I'm like, oh, like, I think men, you know, they're willing, like, when they love harder than women. She's like, oh, what do you mean? I'm like, well, let's put the scenario. If you were to fall on, like, train tracks, right? She asked me that. She says, go, like, what if I fell on the train track? Like, what would you do? I was like, I would dive without hesitation. I would try to get you out of the train track. She's like, really? I'm like, you wouldn't? She's like, I mean, I don't know. How am I supposed to? I'm like, I would figure it out, right? Like, I'm not going to just be like, oh, help. Like, it's my job to be like,
yeah,
holy shit, I need to get her out. Like, I need to figure something out. So that, like, without hesitation, that thought, I told her that. And she was like, oh, shit, like, you really do. I'm like, I would. That's why we're getting married. Like, why would I agree to get into this? Like, this is how men think when they fall in love with a woman and they want to be with them. Like, they don't care. At least me, I don't know about you. I don't care. I will do whatever necessary to protect her. The same way how there's another video how they would ask guys. They'll be like, oh no, they'll ask women. They're like, oh, Grim Reaper were to come here right now and said, hey, it's either you or your husband. Who do I take? They're all like, oh, I'll take my husband. Oh, why your husband? Why me? I deserve to live. And then they ask men the same question. They're like, take my wife. Like, don't even think about it. Like, why not? Why you? Why not your wife? I mean, no, like, save my wife. Like, take me. Like, save my wife. They're like, oh, why? And he goes, oh, because she deserves to live. Like, why would I take that from her? Like, why would I be in charge of taking that? So it's just a thought process of how men think.
Yeah.
Like, when they love
When
so
they truly do,
unconditionally, when you find someone, seems like this guy, if all the boxes are checked, could be something happen, right?
Sure.
But it's like men are willing to give everything to the woman they love, while women are like, yeah, I'll give you everything, but
I need this, I need that, I need that.
Maybe I'm wrong, but it's what I've seen, it's what I've heard,
Yeah.
it's what I've experienced. Clearly, my own fiance, I told her that. She's like, you really? I'm like, yeah. Are you crazy?
Yeah.
So I don't know. So I go back to this where it's like, it sucks because it's not like it doesn't sound like he's a douchebag based on like what he's trying to do. It's not like he's there like, oh, you know what? Like this. No, like he wants to just be with her, devote himself to her. And now she doesn't want to. He's got to do something. He's got to move on. He's got to leave.
Yeah.
And if he wants to be happy with companionship and a partner that he wants to really be intimate with and create a life with of love.
And he probably wants to just also feel desire. He wants to feel wanted, you know, just like he wants his wife. And this is not like, oh, we didn't have sex in a week or 2 weeks or whatever. She just gave birth and Like, this has been 2 years, according to this post. Almost damn near 2 years, which is insane.
Right.
So I know some people were like, oh, you know, whatever. But, like, 2 years is a long ass time to not have sex with your husband. That's insane. So I think 2 days is a long time, but that's a different question. But anyways, I mean, I feel bad for the guy, but this guy doesn't want anything but his wife. But ultimately, he also think about himself. He's like, the only person I love more than my wife is my kids, which is, I mean, what else can you want? This guy works. He seems like a decent guy based on what we're reading. So, I don't know. It sucks. I hope I never find myself in that position. But ultimately, if you don't do anything, you're shooting yourself in the foot.
Go to therapy. Go to the gym. And find a hobby.
Is for him or for her?
I would think it would be for him.
Yes.
You go to therapy, you're getting licensed clinical professional assistance, right? Go to the gym, you're the vessel that you are here on this earth with. You are sharpening to be the best version of that.
Okay, I like it.
Not only is it a distraction from what's going on, but it really does... It really forces you to really understand, like, man, I'm feeling better also about myself, and things that I can accomplish, things that I can do. A lot of hormones and a lot of chemicals get released once you exercise. And I think also a community aspect. I talk about Zoom all the time. I'm a huge fan. I'll be an ambassador for them forever. I'm not even a member of that place. But you go there and you just feel this sense of connection with people who are on the same mission as you. Maybe that could help. What was the last thing? The hobby. Maybe there's something that he's always wanted to do. Maybe this could be the time for him to dedicate that time. Do it with your girls. And who knows, maybe seeing that will trigger something in her head to be like, oh shit, like what was I thinking? Or this guy is amazing.
Yeah, pour into yourself,
Pour into yourself.
That's how I like to close.
That's a good end. So long story short, pour into yourself.
Put that on a t-shirt.
Put that on a t-shirt.
Let us know. Let us know your thoughts. Maybe you've been in a similar situation. I would love to hear people who have kind of came across those obstacles. Because how did you overcome that? How did you deal with something like that? Something similar. Obviously, if you want to be anonymous, you can just say something. Yeah.
So, I mean, yeah. With that being said, I'd like to hear your feedback. Let us know what your thoughts are on this episode, on this topic. I mean, I'm heartbroken for this guy.
Devastating.
But maybe you have better advice than we were able to give.
Let us know. Appreciate you guys tuning in.
That being said, see you later, guys.
See you guys.